everybody. I am so excited to be here with you today. My name is Nicole Safely, and I am the founder of I Am Fierce. And we are bringing you this amazing conference, the Art of Confidence event, how to build unstoppable confidence and skyrocket your revenue. And it is my pleasure today to be with Jocelyn Chong. She's amazing. Coming all the way from Melbourne, Australia. I was like on the phone looking up what time is it there. And so I'm super grateful that you're taking time out of your day to be here with us, Jocelyn. You guys, Jocelyn is a business growth mentor and coach. She's a 4-time international best-selling author, a keynote speaker, and a podcast host. She's also quite beautiful and dominates her field. She works in the banking industry, and Jocelyn empowers ambitious, self-based, service-based entrepreneurs and executives as they activate their potential and really mastering their mindset so that you can attract the right clients, double your sales, and fall in love with your business. She doesn't want that, right? And her experience, you guys, she's been in the industry for over 20 years. She's led multiple 8-figure businesses and really focuses on building high performance in sales and both in the banking and finance sectors. She has worked for the leading banks in Australia, has been featured in a gazillion publications, and is really regarded as a thought leader in the banking industry. Jocelyn has infused spirituality into business intuitively, and her followers are growing daily. She's a heart-centered entrepreneur and compassionate, resourceful, and she just really thrives on human transformation and loves to help others create their life by design. As I talked to her about coming onto the conference, like everything she said was so enthusiastic and just bringing this intuitive nature, the spirituality, and just the full roundedness that I think female entrepreneurs really are seeking. Jocelyn's been featured on TV, on Channel 9, I assume that's in Melbourne, Thrive Global, Digital Journey, Fox, Ask.com, The Times, and Finance News World. And when she's not empowering her clients, you might find her working on her own self-development. She enjoys nature and planning her next getaway. I'm curious, where's your next getaway? Where are we going?
We are going to Brisbane, and we're going to go down the coast. So this time around, we're going to actually drive and really see the coastal side because it's so pretty. Yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I love that. And maybe at some point we'll convince you to come on this side of the world and do a in-person conference with us.
Oh, I really
would love that. Welcome, Jocelyn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're well. All the way from Melbourne, Australia.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love technology. It's so awesome to be able to connect with female leaders everywhere, you guys, and we are blessed to have you today. With the Art of Confidence, we really wanted to set this up and give female entrepreneurs and business leaders, a leg up. And I know you and I were kind of talking about what does that mean for people that you coach with? How do you lead in? And if you want to start, give us a little bit of your background, and then let's talk a little bit about style and personality and how that affects our performance, becoming high performing, that kind of thing.
Yes. And hands up, how many of you want to build solid rock confidence that you can just walk on stage, go to a networking event, or just speak on podcasts and just have the right topics? Hands up. Right? If you are one of those people, then you know what, you're in the right place. Because for me, my background has been coming from a place of being so fearful to speak on stages, really playing small, second guessing all the work that I want to do, but fearful that I'll be judged and always have so much doubt. And then I went through that process of discovery, learning about who I am, learning about how I can overcome and master all those negative thoughts that comes into our brain.
That never happens.
Our brain has got, the identity of the one that tells you, I want to keep you safe, and the one that is future focused. How can I serve? How can I create the future of what we desire and what is available for us? And so I had to master all those negative talks over time. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened over time. And so the 20 years of research, right? Being in so many different conversations, from conferences, workshops, one-on-one group programs, leading teams, are all the research that I come with you and sharing that knowledge with you today to help you become that person that have got unshakable confidence. And I want to offer that because I know that all of us come from a place of, conditioned sometimes by media, conditioned sometimes by the culture that we have been raised, or statements someone has said, an auntie that said something and that held us back forever. And we didn't know how to let that statement go, and it became a captive in our lives. And so today, I hope that this serves you as an opportunity to break through that thought pattern that really held you small, and that this is a time for you to rise up and build that unshakable confidence for you, because you have got a role. All your gifts and your talents are meant to serve others for the greater good of the world. And so let's do that together. And so that's what I want to share and offer with you all.
I love it. I love it. And I can tell you, my mom would tell you, I can remember when you couldn't make your own hair appointment. I have been in a place, I look confident, and we kind of talked a little bit about that. You can look strong, but inside you're like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to go and have so many dreams, but to get it out and like to find. And I think it's something that, yes, we get to master, but I don't think it's ever you ever arrive. Like, it's a constant. Once you have the tools, and I hope you're going to share some of that, it becomes easier. But for me, I still get a little nervous when I have to go on stage, or usually it's in front of my colleagues. The worst, I can fool everybody else, but when it comes to my colleagues and other business women, a little scary. So give me a little bit in there. Where did you begin? What were the little tricks and tips that you used to kind of step out of your shell and really blossom into that confident woman?
Nicole, so one point that you mentioned earlier, when you actually feel fearful with your colleagues, I feel that way too. And so interestingly, I learned from this. I tend to place people with titles more authority. I give them authority, and then I fear. I don't know why that happened, but I learned to manage that statement, that thought, and catch it, because it was looping so much in my brain every day. And I used to think, if you got a higher title than me, you then have more authority than me. And that's not true. So let's break that thought today. All of us, is that thought is gone. It is gone. Throw it away. And that people with titles are equal human beings. There's no less, there's no more. We all are given 24 hours a day. Everyone. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all have 24 hours. It's what we do with our time. And so when I learned about that thought and how I managed that thought, number one was I caught that thought. I processed that emotion that really just gave me a lot of pain and a lot of just submissiveness into their authority, and then realized that they're just human beings. And so then when I realized that all of us are equal human beings, we all have equal rights, we all are capable of changing our future, I started to journal. I started to really change my way of thinking by really practicing. And I mean, practicing thoughts that really help me craft my future, which means it's so intentional, because the thought will come back sneaky, right? And you got to catch that thought and then really practice and think, how can I fill my whole brain capacity with affirmations that help me create a future? So breaching thoughts that starts with words like, I am unlearning that and I'm learning this, is a good start. Maybe I can think that way. Maybe I can start to really adopt this new thought that can create a better future. So it's to help yourself create a bridging thought. If you think about, any bridge in the world, it's A and B. And
Mhm.
if you learn to bridge that thought over time and you intentionally practice that, over time, you move to the other side of the bridge. And so it has to come from a place that every day you choose to, right? If you
Yeah,
decide,
good choice.
the
Mhm.
power of decision is so important. And that comes from, if you never read a book that is called Think and Grow Rich,
Mhm.
right? There's a
Yes.
principle in here that if you actually decide and being decisive in nature and practice that, you will be so ahead of the game in your life and your business and your relationship and your wealth and your finances. So the decision part is something that you can control. A lot
Yeah.
of times you want to control something. We can't control others, but what we can control is we can control our thoughts, our
Mhm.
actions, what we do and what we don't do. And so if you are able to invite yourself to choose that very intentional step to go, I can unlearn and break old patterns, but I can learn to practice new thoughts,
Yes.
your magic mind will start to create new possibilities for you. Our brain is one of the most amazing organs that is created by God. And once you know how to actually understand that you can create, right? Everything in this world is through imagination. Whether it's Henry Ford thinking about, nah, I'm not going to use the horse to create more horsepower. I'm going to create a car.
Mhm.
Or it is Thomas Edison creating light bulb and go, I'm going to test it. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to experiment that. There you go. It's all imagination. And
Yes.
so if we can all adopt that power of visualizing what is possible and really think about it, create that, write that, meditate on what is possible, you will see your brain presenting ideas that you never thought was even possible because your brain is so smart. So
Yeah.
you really train your brain to do that.
I love that. You Think and Grow Rich. When I read that at the first time years ago, it was really like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to think about it and I'm going to create something. And then now that I read it again, Napoleon Hill was really ahead of his time with manifestation. That's what he was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about in the book. And like I said, when I first started early in my career, we really didn't have this notion of meditation and manifesting and the secret and all of that. And now I look back and I'm like, it's so much simpler. For me, I used to believe that I had to have the idea and then I would work it up into something that somebody would buy. The notion of what you're talking about, number one, is sensing into how you're feeling and being a master of your thoughts, not just going with how they are, but then also almost kind of unthinking, right? Just being open and meditating on possibility. And that is where invention happens, right? They didn't know there was electricity. But you get it. We don't have to go into the whole details. It's just interesting, the notion of what does it mean to think and to create. And I think it's so different for me now, but realizing the strength of my brain, like what it can actually do, was pretty incredible. Tell me more.
Sorry, the next thing is a lot of us aren't aware. We always think from head and then we are unaware of our body parts. But believe
Mm-hmm.
it or not, our body actually speaks to us. The emotions that we are going through is our internal compass. And so when you feel something that is not right, whether it's, you have butterflies in the stomach and go like, that's good or that's bad, that is speaking to you around how you make decisions. If you know and you sense something and you watch behaviors that is not aligned with your true values, your true beliefs, your ethics, you know that is speaking to you. Don't ignore that. Because sometimes we always think in the head, step one, step two, and then we cannot steer away from that structure.
Mm-hmm.
But when we recognize that our body, our whole human mechanics is so beautifully created, right? And it's speaking to us, partner with that. Partner with your own body, yourself, to really create that deep level of confidence. And a healthy amount of nervousness when you speak and speak on stage is really healthy.
Yeah.
Because when you know that you're serving others, you don't want to be arrogant that I know it all, like puff up and like, I got it all done. Then that is also sending the wrong signal, because people read and sense that even before the words are spoken.
Yes.
Albert Maharabian has got this formula. 7% is your words, 34% is your tonality, and 55% is your body language. So when you watch TEDx, and they've seen this, right? The first few seconds, they walk to the stage, they open up their body, they show their hands. It's because there is a technique on all that to warm the audience up, to bring the audience in. And studies have shown that the top TEDx speakers do all that. It's so subtle because our body speaks.
100%,
and you want to win the audience that way already. You don't want to have people checking and scrolling their social media while you're walking up the stage and they're like, yeah, you know what, looking up at different parts of the ceiling. No, because everything, every inch, every move you make is a performance. And if you are a speaker, you are performing. Whether you choose to like it or not, speaking is a performance role. And so every single part of your fingers, your hands, your eyes, your smile, when you are overly enthusiastic, you also put people quite uncomfortable. But when you are enough, you know how to manage it in a right method and enoughness, it makes such a big difference. People just
I love that.
go in. And that is magnetism.
Yeah.
Ever gone to a speaking conference or anything like that, and you just sit there and you're like, some speaker, you woke up, you're like, wow, I know I'm going to trust this person. And some speaker, you woke up and you're like, I'm not quite sure. There's something missing. It's because from an energy perspective, we are energetic beings. Yeah. So the energy, the work that we do, the work that we don't do makes a huge difference internally. So the more we can develop a deeper self-awareness, the more we can unlock baggages, things that held us back, things that kept us small, things that really had caused us a lot of second guessing. Those are the things that will send out that vibe to the people around us, and they'll catch it, even without the words spoken.
Without any words, yes. I was in a leadership intensive not long ago, and one of our activities was just to be in Zoom with one other person, and all you got to do was give feedback, like without them ever saying anything. My experience of you, and just getting that from their presence, but also from their energy, and how much we can read from people without even speaking or even being in the same location, right? You can feel intention, you can feel how people are, their ways of being. It's so powerful. Yeah. So how do you, I want to say, fake it till you make it? How do you develop that in yourself so that basically what you're saying, your body language portrays the message that you actually want to deliver?
It is really embodying that. So now that we know all the secrets behind what is it, right? You can control your brain. You can take responsibility over your actions. You can study your own body. You can understand, your shoulders, when you're slouching down, it's time to feel that you need rest, right? When your body is tired and you're not getting things done, you're not moving forward, you can sit there for hours trying to create that strategy, but you're not getting the results. It is a signal that you need rest. And so understanding all that signal is to enable us to take action so that we can then bring our spirits up and really embody that. The best one of the best ways to really embody who you are is to really create your future story. If you were to ask yourself this, and Dan Kennedy has this really great question, right? If you and I were to meet today, 3 years from now, and what you want to achieve between now and then in your professional and personal life, what needs to happen? And I want to enable you to write and journal that from 3 years from now, your future self. What would your future self tell you to start taking action, what to do and what not to do? And if you can create that story every single day and journal, whether you journal 5 minutes, whether you journal 20 minutes, you write and you create that. You intentionally think from that person 3 years from now, giving you the advice, giving you the guidance, giving you the navigation around your life, your relationship with your finances, relationship with your health, relationship with your kids, relationship with your spouse, with your team, with your sales support team. It is gonna give you the right answers. And so journaling, and then really playing the part. The book by Todd Herman, The Outer Ego, it is a great book to read because, a lot of times, if you think about a good example that came across was, Beyonce, right? Actually had a
She is my alter ego, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was embodying that for a while until she goes, I'm fully me as Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
So if you pick a TV show character or a personality that you respect and you embody their characteristics, their personality, the way they stand, the way they, because it helps you then build in that personality criteria, stature, positioning, you become more and more of that. And it is very healthy because then you live all the past, all identity out of your energetic field. And like it or not, actually your true identity has always been there from day one. We just need to activate that confidence that is already within you. Because I always see this, and when I coach my clients, a lot of times the confidence is already burning within them. But what happened is the society's, media's conditioning, someone putting them down, really taming that down causes it to feel that they are not the right person. So those lies kept them small. But what you do is when you embody certain qualities, it's already within you. You are lifting that up within you. And by lifting that up within you, you are becoming your very true self. That is the core part of you. You're meant to be on this earth. You're meant to execute those gifts, those talents, those ideas, those really one thing that you are called to be on this earth. And so start to explore that. And nothing is stopping you from exploring that. Like you can secretly do that. Just or in the shower, or when you're driving, from A to B and you start to think about that characteristic. Nobody can hold that back from you because you can create everything.
Only you do. Yeah. We allow those barriers to stop us, right? We're our worst critics. We feel the judgment of others and amplify it, right? It's just having the courage to be you and even to look underneath, like, where did she go?
Yes.
I have a great song. I'll have to share it with the group. It's from Mickey Guyton and it's called Remember Her Name. And it's just like, she never went anywhere. She is right there. And everything you're speaking, like it's inside you. We look outside a lot for the answers, for the courage, for the confidence. It all is within. I love that.
Yeah.
You're speaking so much truth. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. It's exciting. So, all right. So we're gonna get this vision of ourselves and what we want, where we're going in 3 years, looking at that. I love that too, because again, it's the plan is already there. We know where we need to go, right? You said questions people ask. One of the best questions that I've ever been coached on is, what are you pretending not to know? Just asking yourself, we make up excuses of why, I can't do this because XYZ. But really, at the end of the day, it's what are you pretending not to know? Don't pretend that you don't know how to do this. You do know how to do it. You're scared. That's okay, right? Like, what are you pretending not to know how to do, not to know how to be? Yeah.
Yes. Great question. And I think it's all about really exploring that. And you mentioned a very strong point is the answer is meant to be coming within us. And we are trained. We are trained to always look for answers outside from someone else, and we never really pause and spend time and really explore that. And for me, I speak for myself. When I explore that in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I go for a walk down the beach because I'm very blessed to live by the beach 5 minutes away, or be in nature when you're in fresh, luscious green woods and you're like walking and I'm like, ideas come down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of a concrete jungle, sometimes the busyness of life steal all those creativity from us. And so go to a retreat that is away. The phone can no longer ring you, no notifications coming in, no
Yeah.
alarms, nothing. And just you and you and you alone, and spend that moment to discover you. And that is the best way forward to deepen your level of unshakable confidence, right? And so really, really is something that you've got to invest time in you, invest time in self-care, invest time in really wanting to know more about you, because no one else can know more about you unless you choose to want to know more about you. And those people you think are the wealthiest, are the most capable ones, they left a powerful legacy on this earth is because they chose to discover who they are. And in the process, they create beautiful legacy for others to follow, right? And so if we all do that, even 1% a day, 1% a day, you are 1% by Friday, 5% better, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And so, by the month, if there's 30 days, 30% stronger.
Yeah.
So think about 365% better by the end of 31st of December 2023.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a compound effect. Oh my gosh. So when you're going into work with your clients, where do you start with them? And I know we just have a few more minutes, but like, what would be the one thing you mentioned journaling and getting, this sense of self, looking at yourself, like, what's the plan? Where do I get to go? What would you leave people with?
With me, I really work to understand what is their level of success and what success they want to create, how solid and committed they are to commit to their own success path. That is one area, because working with people who are wanting to implement, let me share this real magic formula. The formula for success is doing. When you know all that journaling, you execute, all the meditation, you go into nature, you collected all the beautiful ideas. The next thing is to take inspired action. And in the midst of that inspired action, you will find the how. In the midst of the doing, and in the midst of experimenting, in the midst of really testing, learning, thinking, all right, the words I need to change, it might be this way, that way. In the midst of that, you will find the answer. You'll find exactly what you're looking for. And everyone's journey is different. It's not linear. Everyone's journey is different. And so be ready to know that that is the secret of success, that there is no step-by-step. There's step-by-step guidance, principle, standard operating procedure to lead you in the right path for navigation. But the experience is different for everyone, because we are all wired differently. We are not the same individual with the same personality, with the same background, with the same culture, with the same upbringing, with the same experiment method, right? All of us experiment differently as well, because we are so wired with different personality backgrounds. If you know Edith's profiling, to touch on at a glance, is there's people who have got dominance, energetic built into them. And so the way they see things is very results oriented. The ones with influencing, they just want to influence people. They operate very differently. They are very much around persuasion, and they're really good in gathering people. And then the third one is someone who's very stable. They just am people who doesn't want to be out there so much with people, but they are people who are very grounded, who just really good at listening, who's just really considered. And then you got the very compliant one. They are black and white. They are factual. Everything is facts driven, numbers
By the
driven,
numbers.
data analysis. Now, the whole world needs a combination of all that personality. Because even if you have one only, can you imagine how boring the world would be if you have just one?
Exactly.
So everyone plays their part. There's no right or wrong. It's learning to understand how you engage other people. And by knowing that knowledge now, we then can be so much more effective as a person, as a business owner, as a life partner, as a mom, as a leader that volunteers for an organization. And so I leave you with this, that whatever that you have learned today, we have shared a lot of different ways for you to really build that solid confidence. It is for you to go away and do it now, right? Even if you start with 1%, like I said, C.S. Clement always say, he's the person that uses this thought every day. He practiced, do it now, and he encouraged his employees to say, do it now, do it now, do it now, because what steals us most from our success is procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's steal, that eats our time. We cannot buy more time. We can make more money, but we cannot buy more time. And so if you do it now, you will see that movement forward into your future. You will move the needle. And so do it now. Do it now.
Do it now. Yes. Oh my gosh, Jocelyn, you just brought the goods. I feel like I got coached for 30 minutes and it's over already. What in the world? This is awesome. Thank you so much. I know you guys, if we were live, we'd be standing, giving an ovation, I'm sure. Thank you for those words of wisdom. Some maybe unique, some it's like, oh, let me have a trigger. I need to go back to the book that was written 30 years ago. Some things just don't change. But we sometimes forget them, right? Where do we go? Who am I? How do I bring that out? How do I harness that and create my destiny? That was amazing, Jocelyn. You guys, Jocelyn has a gift for you, and just an extension of this. And where might you go? Do you want to tell them a little bit about it? The 5,
Absolutely.
your 5 steps. Yeah.
There is a gift of 5 levels of success to help you supercharge. And the art there is not to just read it. The art there is the doing it and then walking away and implementing it in your business. And so download that and walk away and do that. Whether you do that with your team, you do that with yourself, you do that with your kids, all those little things, they are nuggets of wisdom. And sometimes we need a reminder. It's not that you do not know those things. Sometimes we know so much that we fail to, pick the one that we want to implement. So I hope the free gift serves you as a way for you to really just fast track your success. And that I wish you all the success you so deserve, because you're born for greatness. You're born.
Love it. Thank you so much. Yes, we will have the link below so you can download the 5 levels of success and do it. So in our group, in the I Am Fierce group, you can depend on in the next couple of weeks, we'll start going through this material, and we are actually going to do it, Jocelyn. That's my commitment to our community, is really great. Talk to me about stuff, but we've got to do the work. So we definitely will be doing the work. And I invite you to come back and say, hey, in our I Am Fierce community. And you guys don't know this. She brought up Beyonce. We hadn't talked about it. That's exactly where I Am Fierce came from, is the notion that I was not feeling confident. I was not there. Just like Beyonce, I had to borrow belief from somewhere else until I could step back into that. So thank you for speaking that to us today and just reminding me that we get to create this. So beautiful. Thank you,
Awesome.
Jocelyn. All
Thank
right.
you so much, everyone.
Yes. Bye.